What is up, my ninja? Master Shredder here, aka the Fat Burning Sensei, aka the Fat Destroyer. And today I want to talk about two fundamental concepts. Well, it's really one concept with two opposites related to the use of the distribution of our resources, be it emotional, spiritual, mental, physical, social. And it's the difference between taking for yourself, okay, or taking for oneself versus giving to others. So it's giving and taking, basically, okay? So this is the basics of giving and taking and the contrasting behaviors and the implications. Okay, so let's start by talking for oneself. This primarily refers to the act of acquiring resources, however you acquire those resources, be it material possessions, opportunities, intangible assets, and basically using them for your own personal gain in a competitive society, that kind of thing. Okay, so it's seen as a necessary evil, if you will, or a necessary strategy, because from an early age to strive for personal success and prosperity, that kind of thing is it's supported, right? It's not inherently bad, it's supported. So that does motivate us to work hard, obviously, because if you know that there's some treats around the corner for you, then you're going to go hard and work hard. If you know you've got a treaty pudding, for example, waiting for you, it could be a chia seed pudding or whatever type of pudding, a homemade. The puddings that I love is like the self-sourcing fudge pudding. Love that pudding, and I will. It'll be my favorite pudding to the day I die. If I know that it's like waiting for me, I will fast all day long and not eat a freaking single morsel or shred of anything, because I know the self-sourcing fudge pudding is waiting for me at home. So it's not inherently bad, taking for oneself and being motivated by treasures or things that are going to be used just for you, but overconsumption and the inequality of taking for yourself versus giving to others is really crucial to think about, because too much self-interest obviously can lead to social fragmentation and environmental degradation and basically waste, and it hurts other people and it hurts the land and it hurts you ultimately. Okay, so on the other hand, let's talk about giving. Giving to others embodies the spirit of generosity, okay, and community. And it's about considering the needs of others and sharing what we have. When we were kids, we were taught to share by our ancestors, by our kui and koro, by our parents. Sharing is caring, and it's about considering the needs of other people and sharing what we have, and then to some degree giving the best of what you have, not just like saving a little tiny crumb for everybody else. When we're kids, we have a Moro bar, and then it's like, share it with your brothers and sisters. And then of course, as a kid, you like take the biggest bites that you possibly can, and then you give them a tiny little morsel at the end, So it is definitely about considering other people, and these are the implications. This is why it's so important. It's about the needs of others and sharing what we have. Not only does this foster social cohesion and equitable resource distribution ultimately, but it also contributes to personal fulfillment, because it's meaningful and fulfilling when you see put a smile on somebody's face and they are happy to receive something from somebody else. I mean, just put yourself in their shoes, put yourself in other people's shoes. That's what we have to do in order to feel their pain or feel their pleasure. You have to have empathy. You have to learn how to have empathy. And if you don't have empathy, you're missing out on a big fruit of what life has to offer, my friend, because it offers you a sense of purpose and meaning. Outside of that, if it's just you, you're basically a narcissist. You're a narcissist who is after material things and trying to fill up your own life because you've lost your way. You've lost your way in this modern society where it's all about taking for yourself and not giving to other people. So you give that sense of purpose. It can also inspire that pay it forward mentality that you see, other people engaging in when, you give of yourself to other people, which is amazing. Imagine if the world was like that. It'd be amazing. Okay, so it obviously encourages the recipients to help others in return. Okay, so you're basically doing a good deed and passing on that good deed to someone else, and somebody else is passing it on to someone else, and that's how a seed turns into a tree, and that's how our world gets covered with beautiful trees, let's say. Okay, so as an analogy, but giving isn't without its caveats as well. Obviously, giving can be used for evil. Okay, it can be used as a form of control or a means to create dependency, so that people depend on that person, whoever's giving. But that's very easy to spot. That's very easy to spot, because this is how you know if somebody is giving out of a good heart or giving out of greed, is that they don't ask for anything back. They don't expect anything back. In fact, they're so happy just to see you receive whatever it is you're receiving. They look at it objectively. Okay, they don't look at it like, well, when am I getting my money back? Are you giving me interest? Are you giving me, you have to double because I've given you this, I've given you that, and they keep constantly reminding you of how great they are. Okay, so that's a trick. So don't receive. If somebody is trying to give to you to control you, and they're not giving it to you out of the goodness of their heart for free, don't take it. Okay, don't take it. But so you can see somebody's heart. Out of the heart the mouth speaks. What are they saying? What are they doing? Are the two things lining up? And they're a good giver or a shit giver, you could say. But it's an act of empowerment when you give to someone. It empowers people. Giving it away that diminishes the receiver's self-sufficiency is not good. Okay, because you actually want to teach people to be self-sufficient, and you want to teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, and he'll eat for a lifetime. So essentially, you want your love, your giving, to be transformative, and the only way it's transformative is if you give of yourself without expecting anything in return. Okay, that's how it works. And the transformative power comes in a little, little surprises where you're not expecting anything in return, but what you get back in return is far more fulfilling and meaningful and purposeful than you could ever have asked for. So that's what happens when you give without expecting in return. Okay, and the other thing is that it can come to you in, if you're not expecting anything in return, it can come to you in like nice little surprises when you're not expecting it. So that's what happens there. So where was I? Yeah, it's about fostering sustainable giving practices that support autonomy and self-development. Okay, so balancing these two opposites, let's just talk about balancing the two opposites. Can be very difficult. Taking and giving. It is a delicate but yet an essential task for any healthy society. It's about striking that harmony between individual needs and collective well-being. And at the heart of it, this balance embodies the principle of interdependence. And this is what I've been talking about for years. Interdependence is recognizing that your own prosperity is inextricably tied to the prosperity of others. Okay, so you can't get out of the system, essentially. Okay, you were born from two humans. You were born by their elements of their body. Okay, and you were created. You can't get around that. Like, if you think you can break the patterns of reality, then you're full of pride. You're full of pride, and you will only find that you will fail in life. And the reason you will fail is you're focusing on the wrong things. Anyway, I don't want to go off on that. I don't want to go off on that track. It's got to be about empowering others and mutual respect. Okay, mutual respect, aroha, manaakitanga. These are all principles that I grew up with as a child in our Māori culture. Unity and mutual respect. They're like two huge principles that you cannot live without. So if we reflect on these concepts, let's ask yourself, how can I balance my own personal needs with the responsibility towards others? Because that's what the real question is. How can we contribute to a more balanced and sustainable society? That's what we should always be thinking about, rather than thinking how can we exploit the system and gather all these resources, whatever that may be it time, effort, energy, money, material wealth, and just keep it for myself. Because ultimately everybody loves a giver and nobody likes a selfish prick. So I hope that helps. Be generous with your time, be generous with your money, be generous with your efforts, be generous with your words, because I think ultimately actually it starts with your words that you say to people. So be generous with your words, be kind, be courteous, and think about it like this. Like, what do you want to receive? Because truly, the only way that you can receive something is if you first give it away. I mean, it's not the only way, sorry, but the best way, I should say. The best way, if you want to receive something, is first to go and get it for other people. Like, the reason I say this is I grew up like this. My father, he would go, we as his tamariki would go fishing, go ruku kaimoana, go kohi kaimoana, hunting, and then we would go home, we would prepare all of the food that we had gathered from Tangaroa or Tane Mahuta or wherever we had gathered it from. We'd give thanks. And the first thing we did was actually put back the first thing that we caught. Like, we caught the first fish, you put it back and you give it straight back to Tangaroa. You say thank you. Thank you for this, for the means of being able to do this. You're saying thank you to the patterns of reality that existed far before me, far before you, that you did not create. Okay? There is a creator. You must give thanks, and if you don't give thanks, you'll find that, further on down the track, you'll pay the consequences, okay? We can go into some implications of that later in other videos, but yeah, you give your best away, you give it back, because you're recognizing that it's not you. You're not doing this. You didn't create food. You didn't create fish. You didn't create money. You didn't create cars. Like, I mean, if you did, cool, amazing, but still the principles still apply to you because you're not God. That's what you're essentially saying. You're giving thanks to God by giving back to these patterns of reality that existed far before you. And if you live like that with that attitude, that's the attitude that people really respond to, that your life will be filled with meaning and purpose, because if you can just do it with your words, start on this level of reality, the level of your words. Your words are so important. It can change lives. It can cause someone to commit suicide, or it could cause them to have the most fulfilling, awesome life that they could ever have. And I've seen this in my own life, just through my words, just through telling people good things and teaching people, simple but yet really effective life principles, and their lives are transformed forever, and their kids are happy, and they're, so anyway, that is the dichotomy between the opposites of taking for yourself and then giving away. Those are the two opposites, and I'm trying to get people to start to think about having a bit more of a balance. If you're somebody who just takes, you need to start thinking about giving. And the reason why you need to start thinking about giving is because you need to think about yourself, your own life. Because people who just take for themselves, they get fat, and I'm not talking just physically fat. I'm talking fat as in they've got such an overindulgence. They're so overindulged on themselves that they're narcissists, they're selfish, they're full of themselves, they're full of hot air. They're basically people that have, imagine the metaphor would be somebody who's just fat as fuck, doesn't care about anybody else, they're going to kill themselves, essentially, really. So really, this message is to those people who, if you're going down that track, you're killing yourself. And I'm trying to save you. Not that it's me doing the saving, because it's not. These are invisible words, once again, a pattern of reality that existed far beyond my capabilities or understanding. But I want to participate in, giving to others right now. I'm giving of my words, my time and attention right now to you. So that is a form of giving. And I love it because it fulfills me. And I love the responses. I love when people sign up to our program. For example, on our program, you get free for 30 days, totally free. And if you haven't been on the weight loss wagon for a while and you're lacking energy, motivation, honestly, on day one, you'll get the love, support from so many different ninjas that you will be like, wow, I didn't know this existed, this type of support. Well, it is online. All strangers come together, don't even know each other from a bar of soap, but yet will give you their time, effort, and energy and love you. Don't even know you, but yet will love you. How cool is that? And that gives you the strength to push through the next 30 days. You get a free meal plan as well. And then afterwards, if you love it, which you will, if you actually engage with it, if you actually do it, it's $2. The cost is $2.50 a week, paid monthly. So $10 a month. $10 a month. It's pretty much next to nothing. Come and join us.